Welcome back to HMG Podcast. This is your host, Hashim Min Garrett. I'm happy that you could join me today. Well, first thing we got to do before we even get started, we got to cut this annoying music. Cut it. Thank you, DJ. How's everybody doing today? Thank you again for joining me on HMG Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at Hashim_Garrett. You can reach me at my email at HashimGarrett@gmail.com. You can find me on my website, HashimGarrett.com. Motivational speaker, internationally known, locally respected. I thank all 3 or 4 of my faithful listeners. I appreciate you. Tell a friend. Listen, today I want to talk to you about money part 2. I did a previous episode, I think it was episode number 8, and we talked about money, right? And just saying, listen, it takes time. And that we can accomplish and we can accumulate the wealth and we can accomplish the things that we are setting out to do, but it takes time. And there's more, what do they say? There's more than one way to skin a cat, right? But remember that financial responsibility is core, right? But listen to episode 8, but I'm not going to talk about the same things I went over in episode 8 because I have something different to talk to you about. Today, I want to talk to you about money, but I want you to look at it from this vantage point. Think about your network. You ever heard the saying, and I'm sure we all have, it's not what you know, but it's who you know, right? It's about your network can increase your net worth. Let me say that one more time. Your network, the people you are surrounding yourself with, can increase your net worth. And so you may know that there's this saying, if you hang out with 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are not doing anything, you cannot be surprised if you're not accomplishing and attaining those great goals that you are setting for yourself in your mind. There's a difference between a goal and a dream. There's a difference. We all have dreams, right? Dreams of being on a yacht, dreams of being on the beach, sipping on a Mai Tai and just chilling out and, having a butler and a maid and all of those kind of wonderful things. And that's wonderful. Those are dreams, right? Then we wake up and we have to go back to the 9 to 5 or whatever we're doing. And if you own your own business, this is definitely not a 9 to 5. It's a 9 to 9. It's a 7-day-a-week grind. Take that one day off. It's important. But what's the difference between a dream and a goal? A dream is what we discussed. A goal is a dream, but it's with a plan. So I dream to be rich and I dream to do all of these different things that I have in my heart that I want to accomplish. Well, how do I make that a reality as I actually start putting it down on paper and one step at a time? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Yes, I can accomplish it if I have a plan. If there's a young person who's going to school right now and you may say, well, listen, I want to be rich. And that's perfect. Excellent. But I don't want to go to school. Well, that's a problem. That's going to be a problem. That might get in the way of that goal because school is a step towards accomplishing the things that you want to attain. Knowledge. And so, you go ahead, get the knowledge. And don't let somebody come along and say, well, how are you going to use this? This can't apply and this can't apply. Don't worry about what can apply. Just get the knowledge. And so a goal is about having a plan and being intentional about what it is you want to accomplish. And yes, with a lot of hard work and perseverance, who says you can't accomplish it? But also what you have to remember, it's about your social capital. It's about the people that you have around you, right? We know that we are connected with so many people, hundreds and thousands of people on social media, right? The TikTok and the Instagram and the Facebook and you name it, and the Twitter, right? And that's our social club and circle, right? But the social capital is saying, you know what? Since I'm connected to all of these people, well, how does this enrich my life? Well, it goes back to it's not just what you know, it's who you know. So if I have a desire to become an electrician, or if I have a desire to become a barber, if whatever your desire is, whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish, you tapping into your social capital, your circle, well, it enriches your life. I didn't get to, travel all over the world and work with so many different people all on my own. I had to meet people, and it was about, hey, do you know this person? Hey, I'm going to introduce you to Hashem, and Hashem, hey, do you know this person? And it's just about connections. So I was able to make some money, not just based off of my own skill, but also about just the people. They referred me. And that's the greatest thing that you want. You want to have your reputation precede you in a positive way. And so when you have that social capital, when you have those people around you, your network, which is increasing your net worth, that's part of the core. Listen, you can be phenomenal at whatever you are, but if nobody knows about you, then, well, how does that help you? Right? So you've got this great song, and you've got this great idea, and you've got, you're really skilled at something, but you're too much of an introvert to get out there and connect with people. That may hinder your growth and your progress. And so today, that's the conversation. Money isn't just about having a skill. That's one component, but it's also about being gregarious. It's about being sociable. And so maybe we have a difficult time some of us have a difficult time stepping out of our own comfort zone, getting out of our own way. But we have to tap into the people that we have around us. No man is an island. And so how did I get a chance to meet this organization or that organization? And I worked with different organizations, right? And different people and different companies. But the majority of it, I would probably say 90% of most of my business has come from referrals, just people saying, have you heard of Hashem? There's going to be somebody who's going to hear this podcast and say, you know what, how do we work out something for you to come and speak to such and such? And then hopefully that leads to more. But all of my work, really, 90+% of it came from just, did you hear? Let me share this guy's information. You know what, I've got a friend, I know somebody, I'm going to tell him, I heard about you. And so, well, the other 10%, right, was the humility of getting out there and really, knocking on some doors and sending out thousands of emails and making phone calls. That was the work. Once the wheels started moving, then I was able to get the referrals. But it took a lot of work when nobody knew who I was. And there's still millions of people who don't know. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, putting in the work, right? And so that's the core. It's like, yeah, you got to put the work in. You can't be lazy. You can't expect to, reap something if you don't sow anything. You don't work, you don't eat. You got to put some work in. And at the same time, it's about being sociable. It's about being personable. It's about realizing that, listen, nobody's going to want to work with me if I've got a stinky little attitude and I'm grumpy all the time. And no, I ain't complaining. And so this is the component about success. It's about small steps. It's about realizing the people I have around me, they enrich my life. They help me to accumulate this wealth. And at the same time, it's not just about me saying, give me. Well, now that you know me, tell somebody about me. But hey, you guess what? Now that I know you provide a service. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell somebody about what you do. And sometimes it has nothing to do with money. Sometimes, I have people that I work with and, we haven't done business in years. And guess what I'll do? Just call them and check up on them. Because I remember those people who helped me out. And we made a connection. And just say, hey, how are you doing? How's the family? How's your husband? Send them some flowers. Hey, it's good. Facebook reminded me it was your birthday. Let me just give you a call. Wish you a happy birthday. I hope everything is going well. Or such and such isn't feeling well. I'm keeping them in my prayers. Those are the little things that count. Is don't forget to really make a connection where it's not about the strings attached. No strings attached. Just saying, you know what? Human to human, all is well. And we make that connection. And once we make that connection, even if we don't do business anymore, when you pop in my mind, I want to circle back and just say, I hope all is well. I hope the family, wow, your kids are getting bigger. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about mom passing. So sorry to, and you celebrate with them, you mourn with them. You say, listen, I remember you and I really appreciate you and I hope all is well. And that's what success looks like. And I said it in the last show in episode 8. Remember this. I don't care if you have $20, $200, $2,000, $2 million. If you got your health, you're wealthy. I have to say it again. There are people who are sitting in hospice. There are people sitting in the hospital. About 3 years ago, I was in the hospital. I had to have this surgery done, and they had to do 2 surgeries. And listen, I had money in the bank, but the money didn't really mean anything in that moment when my health was feeling a little compromised. I came back to my doctor, after coming out the hospital, and she looked at me and said, "I thought you were going to be dead." Like, I was like, "What? Thanks, doc." I mean, like, but it reminds me, like, listen, health is your wealth. Never forget that. If you woke up today, you're pain-free, feeling a little bit better than you felt yesterday, give thanks for that. You're rich. There's some millionaire somewhere, some billionaire sitting somewhere right now saying, I'd give it all. I'd give it all to be healthy again. And so I just wanted to remind you, it's about who you know. It's not just what you know. Yes, you need to know some things, but also it's about knowing people and treating people right and not using people. Because there are a lot of people out here who will use. They'll act like they're your friend just so it'll better them. And then once they get up, they forget all about you. So don't be that person. And so this is, there's nothing new under the sun. And you want to become successful. That's normal. But understand, it takes time. You have to have a plan. You have to surround yourself with people who are trying to do something. Please don't be the smartest person in the room. Ask more questions. They say the creator of the universe, the great creator, he gave us 2 ears possibly and 1 mouth for a reason. Maybe we should listen twice as much as we speak. Right? So listen, take notes, jot it down. Got that one. I appreciate it. Find your mentor, get some wisdom. Everybody should be seeking advice. Everybody should have somebody that they can lean on and just say, hey, I got a question. Again, your network increases your net worth. So you said that's where the mentors come in. They could give you some guidance. So I just want to encourage you. Yeah, I know, some of us are sitting high on the sky right now, money as well, and some of us are not. And I just want to encourage you. Yeah, it can happen. Don't quit your day job. Well, some of you may not be able to quit your day job because some of y'all not working. Yeah, I got to get a job. I know you don't want to work for anybody, but listen, it's better than, not having nothing. And I don't care. You could start out as a pizza delivery. You could be flipping fries today and be the manager in 2 years. And from the manager, figure out how to become a partner. And next thing you know, you owning a franchise. It has happened and it still happens. Hard work, smart working. This beats overnight every time. Listen, no matter where you are on this green earth, you can make it. Hard work, connecting with people, being respectful, being punctual, keeping your word. Your reputation is everything. Because it takes a long time to build a reputation. And you get a reputation, you guard it. You guard your reputation. Don't be greedy. Don't be a liar. Don't take what's not yours. Don't be messing with the boss's wife or the boss's, daughter and the girl. Like, listen, you understand? Like, listen, control yourself. You can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Please just don't be your own worst enemy. Don't be kissing up to people and, oh, here comes the boss. Or here comes that person. Oh, let me act real nice. And then, you treat the security guard like they're crap, because I found it is the people, the person that you think is the smallest person on the rung of the ladder. They are just as important. There have been a lot of security guards that I've knocked on doors and said, who should I talk to? And it was the security guard who said, you know what? I got somebody that you should meet. It was the custodian in the building who I still have great relationships. Like, yeah, I remember you. Like, yeah, it's good to see you too, bro. And listen, I don't care who. Look, I would encourage some of you to become custodians. I would encourage some of you to take some of these jobs that you might look down upon. Listen, a steady income, a steady paycheck, understanding how to establish good credit, not being in debt. Listen, 80,000, 50, 60, 70,000. Listen, if you know how to manage your money, you can be living like a millionaire if you know how to do it and not living above your means. But I just wanted to encourage you. You can do it. All right. But remember, your network increases your net worth. There's equity in adversity when you go through difficult times. And I'll tell you a quick story before I let you go. When I first started doing public speaking years ago, I'm talking like in the 90s, right? It was 1995. And somebody reached out to me and asked me, would you be interested in doing public speaking? I had just been kicked out of college. I was on academic probation. It's a long story. I'll get into that story another time, but I will tell you this. So somebody reaches out to me and they said, would you be interested in doing some speaking engagements? And you're going to go out into a school in New Jersey and you're going to share your story, and we're going to we want you to learn this curriculum from Harvard University, and we want you to go out. And my first question was, will you pay me? I was 19 years old. I had nothing, no money in my pocket, nothing but lint and a penny or something like that. I was broker than a joke. And they said, we'll pay you $50 an hour. And I remember just thinking, you know what? I'll take it. It was humble beginnings. I didn't have a car. I was in a wheelchair. And I remember I had to, the taxi, this way before Uber and Lyft, and ride sharing services. This cab company, they came in and they picked me up and they drove me to the school. And before cell phones, like I know I'm sounding like a dinosaur here, but I'm talking a long time ago. And so they bring me to the school, right? I go into the school, horrible experience. I'd love to tell y'all I got into the school and it was like and the lights went and everything was cool, but no, it was like nothing. It was literally like just crickets. I was like scared out of my mind. I didn't know what to do. I was sitting in there like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I don't think this is the right thing for me to do. And I couldn't tell a joke. It was just like dead silence. And I got out that school and I thought, all right, I'm going to go home and everything is going to be cool. I made my $50 for the day. Called the cab company, the somebody in the office of the school called. And I go downstairs and I'm in my wheelchair waiting on this street, waiting for the cab company to come. And about 45 minutes later, the cab arrives. And the cab driver looks at me and he goes, oh man, you're in a wheelchair. I'm sorry, man. You can't fit the wheelchair, and I'll call somebody else for them to come get you. I'll never forget this. And he leaves and I go, all right, no problem. And I'm sitting out there 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, sitting in my wheelchair. And I was like, no, this can't be. I don't like this. Finally, another cab comes. It's, oh man, I'm sorry it took me so long. I didn't get the call until much later, and got home. And it just felt like the worst day. I still remember it. Just like feeling so embarrassed. And like, here it is. I'm outside. I couldn't get back in the building because once they had closed the doors and it was stairs, it was just a crazy day. But I share that story with you because I made $50 that day to go out and do that presentation. And I could have easily given up that day. I had every reason to give up. The kids didn't want to hear what I was talking about. The school was like, who are you? The cab didn't want to pick me up. I waited outside. I was hungry. I was thirsty. I needed to use the bathroom. I literally had every story to hang it up and say, this obviously is not for me. But I hung in there. You can Google me. I ain't saying it proudly, but if I'm one thing I'm going to throw my hat on, I'm just so happy I didn't give up. I went from making $50 a day to thousands of dollars an hour. You hear me? I'm so happy I didn't give up. Hang in there, man. Humble beginnings. Sometimes when it's rough, that means you're only destined for greatness. I'm just happy I did not give up. Just because I got no's. And after that, it wasn't easy. Yeah, I have more stories. I got more stories of traveling to go to an important meeting in 0 below weather, and all of a sudden my car, the engine shuts out on me on the highway. I could have given up that day. Just don't give up. You can make it. You can accomplish it. Listen, I love you. Remember, whatever is rare or unique has enormous value. It is the same with you. You are special. Nobody has your eyes, your smile, your laughter. You were made for a purpose. You were made for a purpose. If you have your health, you have your wealth. I love you. Stay well. Have a blessed day.